Good Friday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, the internal combustion engine age YouTube channel that talks about the cars and trucks and dogs and SUVs and motorcycles and ponds and property and all that good stuff. Look at that beautiful pond right there. Not just beautiful. Yeah, I had a vision when I was very young of owning a piece of property with a pond on it. I have a picture of it in my office. I'll show you. Hey, good morning there, everybody that is a subscriber or first time watching this video. Thank you for tuning in. It's a beautiful Friday morning here in the Northern Virginia area. I've got my Crocs on, got my shorts on, and wow, another week has passed us. It's been unbelievable. It's Friday. It's just beautiful weather, but it's going to so change. We're going to witness a change instantly tomorrow where it's supposed to be rainy and cooler by Sunday, 50s, next week 50s, maybe 60, and the last few days here it's been 80s. So I'm going to witness a big change in the weather pattern where from going and wearing my Crocs and my shorts, probably back to wearing my boots and my jeans. Yeah, so let's go. Come on, Ginger, come on. She wants to throw up, eating the grass. Everybody has a dog knows what that means. There's a Grand Wagoneer. I haven't even driven this thing. I've been too busy. Too many miles of driving every day of my life, and but I ordered some Husky mud line or mud mats, or what do you want to call it, floor mats, and this has 3 rows of seats. I got the front, and then I got the rear by accident. I really just wanted the middle, so now I got to order the middle, so I'm gonna have 3 rows of the rubber mats. The Huskies are really nice. Ginger, come on, let's go. Ginger, let's go. Come on, baby, come on, get in the office. Come on, get in. Come on, baby, come on. Are you going to witness her throwing up later? Probably. And then last evening, I got motivated to clean my my Ford Lightning. Really enjoying my Ford Lightning. Really am. I enjoy my truck because I do so many miles. So it does, for me, it definitely saves money on fuel for me because I drive so many miles. And, I mean, just an example, this week will be probably an 800 mile, maybe 1,000 mile week for me. So for me, if I was driving that Ford Power Boost over there, then, I'd be buying a good 100 gallons of fuel this week. So 100 gallons of fuel, it would be probably like $3.50, I would say, versus I'm going to put X amount of kilowatts on my electric bill. If you factor 800 miles at 2 miles per kilowatt, so what does that equal, right? Is that like 400 kilowatts times 11 cent kilowatt for me? So that's $44. So it's a $300 plus savings just for me working out of my F-150 Lightning truck today. And over 4 weeks for me, that's what's that? That's $1,200. That's a lot of money saved. So morning going, and yeah, you're hearing the word witness, and I thought to myself, hey, let's talk about witness. What are we witnessing more than ever in our times here? What are we witnessing as individuals in modern times? And I thought, wow, that's a good conversation this morning. And good Lord, yeah, kind of get the day. Jesus Christ, man, just nonstop. I mean, it's just, for me, it's nonstop. Because I'm the one-man show, and the level of work is through the roof for me. You probably don't see many midday videos anymore unless I'm buying something, which that still goes on, right? So anyways, sorry for the coffee drink. Gotta get my coffee if you haven't had it yet, for the most part. Yeah, so I thought to myself, boy, witness, could we be the new... could we have a Bible of what's going on in the automotive transformation? I mean, sincerely, could we be writing a story like never seen before? Because I just think to myself, wow, what we're witnessing today in the transformation of transportation is beyond believable. I mean, this right now is definitely going to go down in the last 100 years for us human beings as the biggest transformation of transportation. The TT, to have a new saying, the TT So, what are we witnessing? I mean, I think anybody here that's of my age could definitely raise their hand and say, wow, right, what we are witnessing, is it really believable what we're witnessing because of all the new governing bodies' agendas that are truly forcing at hand the quicker than normal change? I mean, just instead of the market kind of playing out to the dynamics of what the consumers want, the governing bodies are forcing the markets to change and adapt to their policies. Of the new Green Deal, you've seen how AOC and the senator from Massachusetts, Markey, yesterday are totally revamping up the new Green Deal. It's going to be like a $92 trillion expense if they can kind of get these things in place. And the Inflation Reduction Act already basically has the new Green Deal in it. I mean, hello. But they're saying it still doesn't cut it. So that was the conversation yesterday, is the senator from Markey was, mouthing off about how the Inflation Reduction Act just doesn't give enough money and doesn't cover all the bases for all the new Green Deal. If you're not abreast of that, then you need to do some reading, because it's really going on, of all the governing bodies' policies trying to transform every sector of our life, every industry. I mean, it's big stuff. And Manchin from West Virginia last year is one of the guys that kind of slowed all that stuff down as far as the Inflation Reduction Act, but we know that story as well. And then the ESG, the economic, social, governance policies of how monies are invested. I mean, there's just so many things that for us are witnessing the transformation of society among us is, I think, the most advanced or the quickest yet. I mean, I just, for me to be here, watch my channel, love to hear the comments, and be like, yeah. I mean, it seems like we're in hyperspeed of things have to be changed more than ever before, with all an extremely high cost of money. I mean, none of this stuff is free. This is very expensive transformation at the taxpayer's expense. And I think to myself, wow, right now, if anybody's paying attention to the economy's sucking wind. The economy's going south. I really think that, yeah, it's starting to really play out. And the governing bodies are just continuing to ratchet up monies that the taxpayers are going to contribute to all these new policies. It's all, based on the green agenda. And how are we going to pay for all this stuff? I mean, it's beyond comprehension that we really can come full disclosure of how these monies will be paid. And for all the companies that'll be enriching themselves more so at the taxpayer's expense, which out rewarding the taxpayer. Here's Chile. Chile has just announced, the president of Chile, where that's one of the biggest lithium mining operations other than China and other parts of the world, but Chile has just announced that they're going to start taking control of these mines. And it's going to be state-run mining operations. It isn't going to happen tomorrow, but they have guidelines right now that they are putting in place that by 2030, one company's mining operations, land operations, contract expires. The government of Chile is going to take that operation. There's another one, it's 2043, so it ain't going to happen tomorrow, and a lot of things can change in the next 20 years. But right now, Chile's position is they're going to take control of the mining operations for all this key ingredients and control, state-run, controlled government business. Wow. Yeah, you think that's going to evolve here? Yeah. I don't think it's happening tomorrow, but at the same time, you have to look at Chile and realize the grab for the control of the energy through the metals is going to probably grow more. Now, here's the green agenda. Here's something where the green agenda is going to fund a Chinese operation, owned and operated electric battery manufacturer in our own backyard. That they're going to get to use our taxpayers' money to build their electric battery factory. I mean, that could be off a little bit on that, but my understanding is that's a factual possibility that's possibly playing out. Does it? I don't know. I mean, I'm sure some people in the Senate would object to all that and not let it go down. But at this point, anybody here, can you keep track of all the new Green Deal proposals? I mean, there's one new Green Deal bill after another new Green Deal bill. I mean, it's beyond, for the average person, I don't think anybody here could honestly say they can even keep up with this sitting administration's new policies and continued bills that they're trying to pass. I don't think the average person could even keep track of what's going on. I mean, even for me that reads a lot of information, and even for me, I'm like, wow, is the new Green Deal actually in place? Well, I've said it from the beginning. The Inflation Reduction Act, that is the Green Deal. I mean, it's all based around green agenda. So isn't that the new Green Deal? Yeah, in so many ways. They just didn't name it that. So, wow. Yeah, and anybody here would be like, well, okay, but this is the car channel. Right, it's the car channel. And if it wasn't for all these new governing bodies policies, do you honestly believe that the electric vehicle market would be happening as quickly as it's being forced to happen? I mean, come on, that's the point of my conversation this morning, is that the governing bodies of this country and the world are forcing the hand that we're witnessing more than ever to change the way that the transportation sector is going to operate. But attached with that is so many other things as well, that the equity, equality, the racial, the income unfairness. I mean, there's so many things that are attached to this Green Deal of the government wanting to change the way you live and the way you look at things. Yeah, I mean, it's big, and the media powers are part of it, and it's nothing new. I mean, anybody who watches my channel, we've had propaganda around for thousands of years. It's nothing new about people persuading people to do something that isn't what they want to do, or they persuade people to think differently. Yeah, it's mankind's been doing it for since mankind's been here on Earth, to convince others to think the way they want them to think and the masses to think on whatever views they have and whatever. So, yeah, it's nothing new, but more than ever, we have the media machines that can just ramp it up like you can't believe. So, yeah, so for the look at Tesla. We'll just talk about Elon Musk with Tesla. He's the electric vehicle guy. They sold close to 400,000 electric vehicles the first quarter of this year. And the stock's kind of getting beat up because their profit margins are going down, and he continues to lower the prices on his cars. His Model Y car is $19,000 cheaper than it was the first of the year. So if you bought a Model Y car for $65,900, you can now buy it for $46,900, 19 grand cheaper. But here's a surprise move. Yesterday, Elon Musk actually raised back the price up on the Model S and X. I think. And for me, if I was Elon Musk, I'd be like, this is the elitist. These are the elitists. These are the rich people. Do you really think that they're buying that Tesla for the price point? The Tesla's been such a status symbol. So I don't know why Elon kind of did a disservice to his high-end Teslas of trying to give those away. I mean, did Lucid create that? Is the Build Your Dream Chinese-owned battery company? I think Warren Buffett is involved in that company, BYD. Is that Elon's, fear that those cars are going to be bigger and better than his and cheap lesser? So he wants to lessen the price of his high-end cars, but he did discount them, but then he just kind of raised prices back up. And then like Elon Musk, the SpaceX that flared out. It's so weird yesterday. It was perfect timing. After I turned off my video yesterday, making my morning conversation, I happened just to turn on Fox News, and right at that time, it was a countdown to that rocket taking off, and I watched it all. So I watched all of it, and when it got way up there, there was this total cloud of all this just like crazy type of looking stuff, and I thought to myself, wow, what is that all about? And And I'm just thinking to myself, that is so weird. Is that going into space? Is that the separation of the atmosphere, atmospheric pressures of the rocket fuel? And sure enough, then it showed some guy. This is classic. And one of the announcers was saying, "Well, it looks like they're testing the capability of the maneuverability of the rocket to move around." And I was thinking, that's really weird. You take a rocket straight up, and then you start making it go horizontal, and you're testing its maneuverability capabilities. And no, that thing blew up. I didn't know that till late yesterday. Actually, I was so busy working on the field all day. Finally, I looked at my Twitter account. Actually, went to Twitter, and sure enough, there it was. Boy, oh boy! I tell you what, would anybody have the guts to get on that SpaceX the next round? I don't think. I would imagine. I mean, how many tests? I mean, if you watch that launch of that, I mean, it's like 11 million tons of whatever, the fuels. If you watch that launch yesterday, all that rocket fuel, I mean, it's a major explosion of it's just a, as we know, it's a rocket. It's a borderline thing just to blow up. That goes up. Oh my gosh. But anybody here, would you get on that SpaceX? I mean, let's just say do one or two more tests that are successful. Whew, yikes! I don't know. That's I give anybody credentials that will get on that SpaceX and ride out that launch, because I'd have to say I wouldn't even know if I give it 50-50. Right. So back to Elon Musk. So it's always about Elon Musk. Little Elon Musk, he's lost $13 billion in value because of his Tesla. Tesla is his candy machine. I mean, boy, if Elon can't keep his Tesla product line making him the money, if really the EV industry really ramps up like they're ramping up the competition, and you have at your disposal going to your local Ford, GM, Dodge, your Chrysler, whatever, Jeep. You can go to all these major domestic manufacturers and Toyota and Hyundai, and a third to half of the vehicles in the showroom are electric. You honestly have to say to yourself, for Elon, the heyday came and went, because his main success has been no competition. And so for us, are we going to witness Elon Musk? Are we going to witness Elon Musk just crashing and burning like his SpaceX did? And that's a lot of comments out there. A lot of people are saying, boy, if that isn't kind of is this Elon's destiny between the Twitter? Wow. I mean, just incredible of where and once again, what we are witnessing today, I think more than ever in modern times, is this total transformation in so many sectors of our life. Is anybody, I mean, I can't believe I'd be the only one here on my YouTube channel expressing what I think is radical in so many ways of what it's like it's not believable. I mean, isn't a witness, I guess, what is the definition of a witness? I mean, more or less, when you say a witness, don't you associate with a crime? That typically, when you hear we're going to call a witness to stand, doesn't that usually mean that's somebody that's going to testify on behalf of somebody else to tell it the way it is and their views? But as we know, a lot of people show up lying under testimony to accomplish an agenda. So, I mean, and that's what you think to ourselves. We're witnessing what so many feel that aren't really going to play out the way they're supposed to. And it's more of an underlying agenda to accomplish things that so many are witnessing that don't believe. But other witnesses want you to believe that, right? Wow. Dan Bongino. Here's Dan. I've never have been a Dan Bongino fan. I never even watch his show. No lie, but I know who he is. And so his ties have been cut with Fox. And I think it's classic that you're hearing that he negotiated a contract and he didn't. He basically didn't come to agreement with Fox. I don't believe that. I don't know where this guy's powers are to go somewhere else. I mean, there's somebody else knocking on his door. I mean, does Dan have such a big network of followers that like YouTube? I don't know anything about. I really don't know a lot about Dan Bongino. Because I just stopped watching all that nonstop media news of journalists that persuade you to think a certain way, get you all riled up. I'm just done with that stuff. I mean, I've seen so many people get addicted to that stuff. I won't do it. I won't do it. And then I've witnessed people that I talk to, they talk the exact same thing that the journalist or the media guy talks about. So they're just sharing information that they heard from somebody else mouth off to tell the same thing. How's that creative? Read your own stuff and come to closure what you think's right versus wrong. That's kind of what I do. I just read information and kind of try to come to closure, what kind of seems to make sense. And so for me, is anybody witnessing what the former sitting president has had happen since he's no longer been in office? I mean, you really have to look at this. And you really do have to step back and say to yourself, what we've witnessed here now, it's 3 years since change of presidents. And you have to say to yourself, it's pretty incredible because the former sitting president, there's 1,000 people that have been captured and so many are in jail and so many have now possibly criminal records, and the list goes on and on and on. And now here you have Fox News that has just now settled a $787 million defamation suit, and they have others, or that are other defamation suits that are still ongoing. And then you have, I just brought this up the other day, Mike Lindell, the Pillow Man. He just now has a $5 million lawsuit against some guy that called him out. And he apparently now owes this guy $5 million for, I guess, misinformation. I mean, I don't know. I really haven't read deep into it. But I think to myself, wow. Think about what you just witnessed. What have we just witnessed of the media machine and how it's portrayed, and how one side looks at it this way, another side looks at it that way. And in the end, the former sitting president has cost a lot of people a lot of money. So, wow. And it's not over. It's not over. I mean, you're going to hear more stories. You're going to witness. And so that's what I'm conveying with Dan, Bongino, whatever the hell his name is I think you just witnessed that Fox News is cleaning house. I don't know. I mean, that's going to be very interesting because they just paid a lot of money to do a lot of yabba dabba. So are they now more than ever? Are we witnessing now more than ever that they see liability? Wow. I mean, that gets really deep, and I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. I'm just giving you on the surface. If you step back and look at what you just and I have witnessed the last 3 years, there's a former sitting president that has put 1,000 people in borderline in jail in criminal acts, and now has cost a major media company billions. And media personalities are going to be terminated as time progresses. And so you got to take that message the right way. I'm not supporting anything here. I'm just sharing information. So anybody here, I'm not accusing anybody per se of anything. I'm telling you to step back and just look at what you witnessed in the transformation of transportation and the transformation of the mediation in the media machine. Wow. I mean, we can go through the list of what we're witnessing. The guys that get to compete in the sports with the girls. I mean, it's just things that I'm sure that it'd be interesting to look back in times and tell people this is what it's going to be like in 2023. And I don't know. Some people would be like, yeah, you're radical. I mean, at the same time, what are we all witnessing, right? Yeah, does it make any sense? Is there any sense anymore? I mean, sincerely, I mean, right? Remember I was saying earlier, could we create the new automotive Bible? Could we have a story? What would be the sacrifice? What would be sacrificed for the change of the transportation, for the ice age? What would be the ice age sacrifice for the EVH? Right? Besides us humans that don't want to accept it. Even though, here I am on my YouTube channel, and anybody could call me a hypocrite because you're driving an F-150 Lightning truck, right? But I'll tell you, all day long, I didn't buy it to save the world. But then somebody say, but you're just contributing to the problem. Okay, well, good luck on that, because I don't have the political powers, monies, or means to tamper down what's going on in our governing bodies and society and big business that's going to dominate the transformation of transportation. So whether you want to accept it or not, it's going to happen. It's already happening. So for me, it's more about the experience and more about learning the technology. And here's the thing. So the big battery guru is saying that these solid state batteries, the solid state battery, when they can really master the battery capabilities, it's going to be the end of Ice Age. So there's this one guru that's a guy that took apart the Tesla cars and totally just dissected the batteries and everything else. Very, very intelligent guy. He's saying the solid state battery technology is advancing quicker than you realize. And it's on our doorstep. And when it does finally materialize, it's going to be beyond believable. It's basically like the Tesla Plaid has like 169 like PW or something. There's these codes, and I don't know these codes. Didn't dig that deep into it. But basically, the Plaid battery size, the solid state battery can be triple the power than that same size lithium, or the NCM, nickel, cobalt, magnesium, or NMC, nickel, magnesium, cobalt. So that same material makeup in that Tesla Plaid, in that car, they're saying when they can really finally get their hands on how to take care of this solid state battery, it needs a different temperature environment. That's the challenge of that solid state battery. It needs a warm environment. And so what we're saying is that same amount of mass, the solid state has triple the power. So it'd basically be like me saying to you, my Hellcat downstairs with that technology has 800 horsepower. But the new latest, greatest ICE engine that's been developed better than that has 2,400 horsepower. Wow. and it can run, the same way. And these batteries are supposed to be rechargeable quicker. So that is on our doorstep. This gentleman that's got a whole article I read last night, it talks in great depth. I mean, it's very scientific language. So if you read this information, it's just scientific. It's all the different elements and chemistry and the metals and but once again, it's back to metals. I've been talking about this for a while. It's the metals. I mean, we're totally transitioning into the metal beyond metal mining operation in this world, never seen before, because of the goal to eliminate the fossil fuels. So what do you replace? You replace with metals. So the mining operations is getting massive, and that's what I was talking about here a while back. The car manufacturers, for the first time, went to the manufacturers organization, whatever they call that mining industry. The big auto guys went to that mining convention to hobnob with these mining operators, because the big auto guys are seeing that maybe our best way to help cut our costs down is to partner up with these mining operations and be part of that business to make these batteries. And now with this announcement of Chile president wanting to control the state-run mining operations, I guarantee you there's a lot of automotive guys right now like, oh, Jesus Christ, here we go. Here we go. We were wanting to get in with this mining operation now, but now we're hearing how the government's going to start taking control of these mines. Yeah. You just have to, so many people talk about how as we have the transformation of transportation, of how everything's going to be controlled by the big guy, which is, there's no doubt. There's no doubt that as time progresses, that the control of the big guy of all of our vehicles and technology, they're going to control everything. And what's the repo guy going to do in the future when the car just drives itself back to the dealership or to the repo lot because of that technology? There's no doubt in my mind. I've read the articles. It's a no-brainer. 10 years from now, if these cars really are autonomous driving vehicles, are you kidding me? You don't make your payments in your car. You get up the next morning, it's gone. Poof! It drove away to the repo place, or they turn it off, or you can't use it. The list goes on and on and on. All right, everybody. Hey, I'm out of town. I have a really busy day. A lot of driving. I am just driving all over the world. So appreciate everybody tuning my channel. Hope you enjoy the conversations. And stay tuned for more adventures. What I'm up to next. You don't want to know. You don't want to know, but you may find out sooner or later. So, hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Stay safe. And God bless. Have a great day.